what can the average person do in the community in order to help the local environment?
I would say promoting energy and environmental stewardship is probably the most important thing that anyone could do. I think it's the easiest, and it can have the largest impact on energy and environmental management if we can promote or educate people on the good stewardship of energy and environment. So let me frame it.
A lot of attention recently paid to natural gas, the process of extracting that natural gas, fracking. What regulations are coming from this administration? What are your concerns with them?
Well, hydraulic fracturing is actually an older technology that's just been vastly improved over the past few years. And really through our modern technologies, what's made it possible for us today to talk about energy security.
Every kilowatt hour of electricity that we avoid using, we can avoid 1 pound of CO2, which is the primary pollutant. That's an EPA number. EPA gives you these really nice facts. So when you're looking at, like me as an energy manager, if someone says to me, okay, how many kWh did we offset, did we save? I tell, okay, you saved 5,000 kWh. And what did that save me? Well, 5,000 times 14.5 cents, or whatever the rate is, I can put $1 on the pump. Now they say to me, how many pounds of greenhouse gases have I avoided producing? You take that same kWh and you multiply that times 1, and you reduce 5,000 pounds of CO2, which is a lot of CO2. And then there's other pollutants that are attached to that, hydrocarbons and polynucleic acids and things of that nature.
Using water for car fuel is a new and very promising way to fuel cars. This is because the separating of molecules in the water atom creates hydrogen for fuel, and the only byproduct is heat from the separation of electrons and oxygen molecules. As stated earlier, in a matter of years, the amount of gas may raise up to approximately $10, $20, or even $30 per gallon. These alarming rates may decrease with the use of renewable energies and a smaller consumption of fuels that may not be renewable.
Most of our coal that we mine in this country gets exported to China.
And that relates back to telling other people from the environment about what to do. That can even relate to countries for the president's perspective.
From the president's perspective, I think one of the things that I would like to see President Obama do, and one of the things that he promised he would do when he ran for office in his first term, was he had talked about reducing incentives to the petroleum companies. We've got these petroleum companies in the United States that make billions of dollars, and we subsidize them to the tune of the number that I have seen, and you probably have to Google this to find out exactly, like go on to the Energy Information Administration website to find out exactly what the number is. But I've seen the number of $380 billion a year that our government gives to our petroleum companies to subsidize them. And they're already very wealthy companies, and they're very profitable.
Especially near the time of fiscal cliff, that's big.
That's right. That's huge. So, the president had talked about stopping that. And the other part of it that upsets me, that plays into exactly what we're talking about right now, is when you look at how much we subsidize renewable energy in this country, collectively, everything together, all of your biofuels, ethanol, biodiesel, wind, solar PV, solar thermal, geothermal, we get $25 billion a year. And our government gives $380 billion a year to our petroleum companies.
So it's not, the scale is not balanced at all.
No, not at all. So if they really want to promote renewables, that's really what they need to do, is kind of balance the scales.
Yeah.
Take some of that money. I think they need to take it away from the petroleum companies, and maybe they're not going to necessarily give it all to renewables, but maybe funnel some of it to renewables. But as you had suggested, you could also take a lot of that money and funnel that towards helping us out with the fiscal cliff.
With other fossil fuels and non-renewable sources running scarce, the idea of renewable energies could not have come any sooner.